Last winter, in February, my neighbor knocked on my door at 2 in the morning. There has been no electricity for 6 hours. The temperature in his house has dropped to 43 degrees Fahrenheit. His children trembled under all the blankets they had. He asked if I had any candles. I had them, but I also had 11 other things that made 3 days without electricity more of an inconvenience than a real disaster. Most of them cost less than $20. I'm Zach, and I've been preparing since 2012. Today, we will talk about things that no one thinks about until it is too late. Not about obvious things like flashlights and batteries. We will delve into the essence. These are the undervalued and ignored things that separate families living in warmth and plenty from those in emergency shelters. And here's what worries me. Every time a strong storm is forecasted, these items disappear from store shelves within hours. So if you don't have them now, you may not be able to get them when you really need them. Let's start with something that sounds almost too simple to matter. The first is wool blankets, not fleece, not cotton, wool. That's why it's more important than you think. Cotton is dangerous in cold weather. When cotton becomes damp from humidity or sweat, it loses 97% of its insulating properties. Fleece is slightly better, but it's made from plastic. And without electricity to wash it, fleece starts to smell terrible after just 48 hours. Wool is different. It regulates temperature, wicks moisture away from the body, and remains warm even when wet. Moreover, the wool naturally resists odors and fire. I learned this from experience in 2014 when an ice storm cut off electricity for 5 days. We had many blankets, but they were all cotton and fleece. On the third day, we had covered ourselves with all the blankets we had and were still cold. Then I began to study what is actually used in survival situations: soldiers, shepherds, people enduring Balkan winters without reliable heating. The answer always came down to wool. I'm not telling you to go spend $200 on a Pendleton heirloom blanket. Military wool blankets cost between $20 to $40. They're not pretty, but they work. I keep one in each bedroom and 2 in the basement. If the electricity goes out, each family member gets their wool blanket. Cover yourself with it, along with what you have, and you will be comfortable even if the room temperature drops to 40 degrees. This is the secret that nobody talks about. Wool blankets can be used as curtains for doors. During a power outage, heat escapes through windows the fastest. Hang a wool blanket over the windows at night, and you will retain significantly more heat inside your space. I use spring tension rods. The installation takes 30 seconds. The second item is a battery-powered carbon monoxide detector. This thing saves lives, and it's what people most often forget. When the power goes out and the temperature drops, people become desperate. They bring in charcoal grills, start generators in garages with slightly open doors. They light camping stoves in sleeping areas. Every winter, dozens of families die from carbon monoxide poisoning while trying to stay warm. This is what makes carbon monoxide so dangerous. It is impossible to see, smell, or taste. The symptoms resemble the flu: headache, dizziness, nausea. As soon as you realize something is wrong, your consciousness is already disturbed. You wouldn't even think to go outside. A typical carbon monoxide detector is plugged into the socket. When the electricity goes out, it stops working. You need a detector with a backup battery or one that runs entirely on batteries. They cost between $25 and $50. I have 3 such devices in the house, one near the bedrooms, one in the living area, and one in the basement. And here is a rule that has no exceptions. Never burn anything inside that is meant for outdoor use. No gas heaters without proper ventilation. No coal, generators, or attached garages. It doesn't matter how cold it is. Carbon monoxide will kill you faster than the cold. The third item is sturdy aluminum foil. It's one of those things that seems boring until you realize how many problems it solves. Aluminum foil is a multifunctional tool disguised as a kitchen item. During a winter power outage, foil becomes insulation, a cooking surface, an alarm device, and a water container all at once. Let me present some specific uses. The first is insulation. If you are trying to keep warmth in one room, you can stick aluminum foil to the walls behind any heat source. The foil reflects thermal energy back into the room instead of allowing it to be absorbed by the walls. This works with candles, oil lamps, or small gas heaters. You can also line the inside of a cardboard box with foil and use it as a reflective oven. Place a candle or a small fuel source inside, and you will have a device that can warm your hands or heat canned food. The second use is cooking. If you have a fireplace or the ability to make a small fire outside, You can wrap food in foil and cook it right in the coals. Potatoes, vegetables, even meat. No pots or pans are needed. This is important because in a real emergency, you want to minimize the amount of dishes to wash when there is no hot water. The third use is signaling. If you need help, foil can be shaped into a reflective signal that will be visible from afar. I hope you never have to do this, but it's useful to know. The fourth application is homemade containers. You can fold sturdy foil into cups or bowls. Damaged containers can be lined to make them waterproof again. I even used foil to patch a small leak in the gutter during a winter storm when I couldn't get to the store. The key is strong foil. Cheap, thin foil tears too easily. Buy a sturdy version and at least 3 or 4 rolls. It's inexpensive, lasts a long time, and is almost weightless. The fourth item is a mechanical can opener. It seems obvious, but I can't say how many people overlook it. Modern kitchens are equipped with electric can openers. Even manual can openers that people buy often turn out to be unreliable models that break after a few uses. During a power outage, canned goods become your main source of food. If you can't open the cans, you have nothing to eat. I have 2 manual can openers. One is a classic military model, P38. It's tiny, costs about $2, and lasts a long time. I carry one of them on my keychain. The other is a powerful swingway model that I keep among my supplies for emergencies. I tested both on dozens of cans. They work. Here's the situation that comes to mind. The electricity has been out for 3 days. You are tired, cold, and stressed. You reach for a can of soup, and your can opener breaks. Now you are trying to open a can with a knife or a stone, which is unsafe and ineffective. This $2 P38 can opener saves you from such a nightmare. Also, check your can opener right now. Go to the kitchen and test it on a can. Make sure it works smoothly. If it feels tight or uncomfortable, replace it before you need it. Point number 5, water purification tablets. Even in winter, the water issue becomes critical during long power outages. If electricity is absent for long enough, water supply systems can fail. Pipes can freeze and burst. Even if water still flows from the tap, there is no guarantee it is safe to drink without properly functioning pumps and purification systems. Water purification tablets are lightweight, inexpensive, and can be stored for many years with proper storage. A pack of 50 tablets costs about $10 and can purify 25 gallons of water. I keep 1 pack in my emergency kit, 1 in the car, and 1 in my backpack for emergencies. What most people don't understand is that you can't just boil water if you don't have electricity. Boiling requires fuel, and it can run out. You may have a gas stove, but if the outage lasts a week, do you really want to burn all your propane or natural gas just to purify water? Tablets give you a backup option that doesn't require fuel. I use iodine or chlorine dioxide tablets. Both work well. Chlorine dioxide tablets have a slightly better taste and are effective against a broader range of pathogens. Follow the instructions on the package. Usually, you need to drop 1 or 2 tablets into a liter of water. Wait 30 minutes, and it will be safe to drink. Combine this with the ability to collect water. I have several 5-liter buckets with lids stored in the basement. If the water stops flowing, I can collect snow, melt it, and purify it. Snow is just frozen water. The main thing is to purify it, and then it will be safe. Item number 6, hand warmers in large quantities. These small packets are easily underestimated as they seem like a luxury item. But that's not the case. During a prolonged winter power outage, keeping warm is not just a matter of comfort. It is important to maintain clarity of thought and productivity. When your body is too cold, your cognitive function deteriorates. You make poor decisions, become irritable, and lose efficiency. Hand warmers are an inexpensive insurance against this. A box of 40 heaters costs about $15. Each packet generates heat for 8 to 10 hours. They can be placed in gloves, boots, pockets, or even inside jackets to warm the body. I use them while sleeping to warm my feet when the temperature in the house dropped to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Here's the strategy. Hand warmers are not meant to warm the whole body. They are used for targeted warming of the extremities. Hands and feet lose heat the fastest. If they stay warm, it helps the whole body regulate temperature better. Moreover, it's a psychological boost. When you're cold and feeling stressed, the simple act of holding something warm in your hands improves your mood and perception of the situation. I buy them in bulk every autumn when they are cheap and readily available. By the time the first serious storm is predicted, stores often sell out their supplies. Don't delay. The next item is a quality headlamp with spare batteries. Flashlights are the obvious choice that everyone thinks of, but headlamps are better suited for almost all tasks during a power outage. A headlamp leaves your hands free. You can cook, repair, read, or take care of children without worrying about where to place the light source. I use a battery-powered headlamp that has several brightness modes, including a red light that preserves night vision and doesn't wake sleeping family members when I need to move at night. I paid about $30 for mine, and I've been using it for several years. It's important not to forget about spare batteries, which should be of high quality. Cheap batteries leak and corrode. I learned this in 2016 when I took out my emergency flashlight and found that the batteries had leaked and damaged the contacts. I buy batteries from well-known brands, both alkaline and lithium, and check them twice a year. Lithium batteries are more expensive but last longer, work better in cold weather, and have a shelf life of 10 to 20 years. This is justified for emergency supplies. I have enough batteries to power the headlamp for at least 100 hours, which is 2 weeks if used for a few hours each night. The next item is duct tape. Duct tape is yet another mundane item that becomes invaluable in a crisis. I have 3 rolls in my emergency supplies. Here's why. During a winter power outage, many things break, pipes crack, windows start to leak, tarps tear. You need a way to quickly make temporary repairs when you can't get to the store or call a specialist. Duct tape seals leaks. It strengthens weak spots. It holds broken things together long enough to survive a crisis.